Hi everybody, this is a basic Pilates Matwork class for back care. Particularly at the moment, I've had messages from some of my clients saying their backs are super tight, barely surprising. We've all got an awful lot going on at the moment. So this class is designed to help you release tension out of your back. Now, what you will need is a TheraBand. If you don't have a TheraBand, please don't worry. Get yourself a dressing gown cord or even a belt, but it needs to be pretty long. You will also need, I'm going to be using a physio ball, which has got some of its air deflated out of it. If you haven't got one of those, I've also got a couple of hand towels folded into lengthways and then rolled up, and then another one rolled on top. That's to get an extension of the spine. At the very end, I'll also be using a foam roller, which will help ease out muscles on the back. If you haven't got a foam roller, then unfortunately you can't do that little bit of the class, but I would highly recommend that you get one because they are brilliant at releasing tension out of the back muscles. So let us begin. But before we begin, please, as always, be very, very careful. If you are experiencing any kind of neuralgic pain, i.e. pins and needles, numbness going down arms, or weakness, arms and legs, you mustn't do this class. You must go and see a doctor about that, please, before you start. They might say it's very well to do it, it's so fine to do it, but you need to double check that it's safe before you begin. So let us start. I'm going to start by just checking our postures out. As always, I do at the beginning of every single class. Just play the piano with your toes so that you've got a very wide, firm grounding on with those feet on the floor, obviously. Now come up to your knees, unlock your knees, come up to your pelvis, tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards until you are in neutral. Now grow taller, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling and start rolling your shoulders. I tend to always start my classes warming up the shoulders. It's a good way to release tension out of the shoulders. We all have tension rising in the shoulders for one reason or another, and it's a good way just to release it out. Now let's go big arm movement. So all the way around. Oh, move out of the way of that. And again. And 3, and then go back around the other way. And in a minute, you're going to start breathing as well. Nice. Right, now, I want you to breathe in and bring your shoulders up towards your ears. And then breathe out sharply and let the shoulders drop. Breathe in, breathe, bring your shoulders up. Repeat that 2 more times. Breathe in, rise up. Breathe in, rise up. And then down. Now, I'm going to place my hand on this bit of equipment, which is called a ladder barrel. If you don't have a ladder barrel, then put your hand on a firm chair. Back of a sofa would do it. Kitchen surface would do it. But basically, you need to be at about this height. We're going to do a little bit of lateral stretching. So you bring your arm up and then over. So just gently easing out the back. Now, if you are feeling tension in your lower spine, then just move gently through it. Muscle tension, stroke and spasms, it is important to keep moving, but keep moving gently. I know many people who have, pulled their backs. That's why they start doing Pilates in the first place. And the instinct, your gut instinct, is just to go to bed. And it's possibly the worst thing you can do. You need to keep moving ever so gently so other muscles in your back don't tense up. Now this time, your feet are going to stay forwards. You're going to rotate around so both hands go onto the back of the chair or the sofa and push your hips back. I need to move my feet a little bit further back so I can get into a full deep extension. I'm now feeling a stretch going into the sort of top of the glute. That's where you want to be feeling it. And then come back up. And you're going to do exactly the same again. Over and rotate around. Both hands go on and release. So we're just warming up to begin with. And turn around. We're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear me as well with my back turned to you. Hopefully you can. And over. Up. Over you go. If I were you at home, I'd get some music on Makes it a much more pleasurable experience when you're exercising by yourself, to have some calming music in the background, and then over and rotate around. So just take a little bit of a note. Does one side feel tighter than the other? If it does, I'd like you to just hang out here a little bit longer, or after the class is finished, just repeat the exercise again that felt good. If something feels good for your back, remember it and do it again, stretching out. All right. Now, I want you to turn around and face your chair or sofa or work unit, whatever you're using, and feet are now at about this distance. And what I want you to do is to push your tailbone out. It's a sort of standing stretch and flexing movement. So tailbone sticks out as much as you possibly can. You should be feeling a pull down the back of those hamstrings, down the back of the legs. Now tuck your tailbone under and peel yourself all the way up. Come back to standing and bend your elbows gently. Be careful that the thing you're leaning on isn't going to slide, however. And then push back. Tailbone goes out. Nice, good, should feel lovely. Tuck your tailbone under. Peel yourself all the way back up and bend, and repeat that. Down, tailbone goes out, tuck under and peel up, and bend your elbows. Good. This time I'd like you to come up on your toes and do the same. Tailbone goes out, peel up. Now, you're not getting as much pulling in the legs, but what you should be able to do is feel a lengthening in your back. If you need to move your feet back a little bit, please do so, but I want you to get a really long reach and a really long stretch. Be careful your head doesn't drop. Equally be careful you're not pulling your head up so much. And then put one foot down and then the other. Now, peel yourselves all the way back up. Now we're going to get down onto the mat. So again, if at home you haven't got a mat, a couple of towels laid on top of each other will suffice. There's my rolled up towels, but I'm going to be using this. So if you have a look, and then also a TheraBand. We're going to start. You make sure you've got your TheraBand relatively close to hand. So roll your shoulders, slide them down your back, and you're going to start by doing a roll down. Drop your chin to your chest, articulating down. Now, if you have injured your back, there might come a point where you feel that it pulls. At that point, I'd like you to bend your knees and come straight down onto the floor. Otherwise, you come all the way down, head is soft and loose, and hands go down to the floor. If you're already on your all fours, just hang out there for just a minute for me until I join you. So now we're going to go drop your chin to your chest, third of the way down, suck your stomach up into your diaphragm, remembering to breathe please deeply in and out, and then walk your hands out into your all fours. We start with a cat and a cow stretch. It is a really good exercise for those glutes and glutes, spine. Push your spine all the way up to the ceiling, that's it, and then release down. I think my mouth is racing ahead of my brain. And then push your spine all the way back up again, and then release down. An exercise that I tend to do in many of my classes. It is hugely beneficial for the back and gets everything moving. Now move your tailbone through one side and the other side, feeling any restriction that you may have. And then start rolling your sort of bottom all the way around and let your head flow. Release your inhibitions with this one. I want you to really flex and move your back as much as you can and go round the other way. It's getting the whole spine to move. It's also getting that lower back to move. It should feel good, should feel nice. Now, we're going to just gently stretch out get your hips moving, but also your hip flexors. So I want you to put one knee forwards and push down like that, if you can see my knee. So you feel a stretch going into that hip flexor. And then swap over. So if I had a long space at home, if I were you and had a long space at home, I'd like you to just simply crawl. But releasing out the hip flexor, your knees towards the outside and pushing your sort of hip bone, the front hip bone called your ACES, down towards the floor. You release out the hip flexor, which in turn will help release out your spine. Move gently, move carefully, move slowly. It should feel good. Okay. And then come back. Right, now from here, we're going to do the sort of, it's called swimming all fours. Basically, lengthen, squeeze your abdominals and lengthen your left leg away and your right arm reaches out in front of you. Breathe deeply in and out 3 times. And then bring that hand down, bring that knee down. Breathe in, just reset, wiggle those shoulders round a little bit, reset, and then slide the opposite leg away and opposite hand reaches out in front of you. That's it. Hand comes down, knees come down, sit back onto your heels. Stretching out. Now, before we do anything else, I want to stretch out your piriformis. Piriformis is a muscle which sort of sits here. It can get really tight, sciatic nerve runs through it. I think I've said that in one of my other videos. So if it is tight, the sciatic nerve won't enjoy life very much and give you some nasty pain going up and down your legs. So what I'd like you to do is to sit in this sort of position for me, please. Some people call it a sort of hurdler stretch. So you have one knee in front, the other knee sort of pushes behind. You've got quite a distance between your foot and your thigh as you lean over towards your knee. Now, depending on how flexible you are, you might be able to go all the way down to the floor, or you might not. It's not a massive disadvantage if you can't. What I want you to feel is the stretch going into the back of the leg and also hopefully up into that glute. Breathe in and out, and in and out. You can move your hands around, change the position of the stretch. As you do that, you just feel the stretch change sort of further round into the glute. So to ease out tension from the back, we also need to ease out tension in the legs and the glutes. And the other side. And then over you go. Oh, as far as the side feels tighter for me. And over. Stretches ideally should be held for about 2 minutes. Quite frequently I've thought about doing just a pure stretching class for 60 minutes, which I will do one day when I find the time to do it. Right, now you're going to sit up tall. Now this is where you're going to need your ball. If you don't have a ball, you're going to be using your rolled up towels, okay? And you're going to place the ball or the rolled up towels at about, so when you go down, it would be, so your about bra line would hit the ball or the towels. We're going to get a spinal extension. Please be very, very careful as you do this. So I want everyone to hold on to the backs of their thighs and just tilt through the tailbone, easing out the back gently, and then sit up tall. And then go again, tilt that pelvis, peel down, and then come back up, sit up tall. This time you're going to release your hands and let your back fall onto the ball. Now you might want to move it slightly so that it is definitely in the right position for you, and then when you're ready, release your hands over your head, getting a nice stretch in your back. Your head should be on the floor Now, I know some people have very tight upper backs, and this might not be the best place for you. Move the ball a little bit further down, but do not force a movement ever, please. Just hang out here. It should feel good. It should feel nice. Breathe very, very deeply in and out. Let the rib cage open out. Let your spine open out. And then bring your hands back over and sit yourself back up tall. And you're going to repeat that movement, peeling down, keeping your knees bent if you need to, otherwise you can straighten them out. Big extension. Breathe in, and with the next out breath, you peel yourselves all the way back up again. So it's gentle, it's not massive. If you're struggling with the coming up and down, what I would recommend is you over and then just come back up to this position here, and then back over and back up and back. Hands come back over and peel yourselves all the way back up. Now we're going to lie you down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Now, neutral spine alignment. Again, if you're not entirely sure about where your neutral is, please have a look at my video about tips for posture. So tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, make sure you are in neutral. And I just want you to start by sliding one leg away and then draw it back in. Squeeze those abdominals, sliding one leg away and bring it back in. And repeat that, sliding one leg away and back in. Last time. And back in. And then the other side, making sure your pelvis stays completely still. Your hips shouldn't move, your back shouldn't move. Just checking in with this movement really. If you're feeling any kind of pull in the back, continue to do this. But if you're okay, you're going to bring one leg up to tabletop and then the other leg is going to come up to meet it. Breathe in. As you breathe out, one leg reaches and then back in. So what we're doing here is strengthening the abdominals to support the spine. Strong backs are required. Good. Last couple on each side. Now, I want you to hold your legs either here at tabletop, or if you can, lengthen both legs away. You're going to hold it here just for 5 full deep breaths. We're not going to go too strong with this class. This is about a back care class, so we're building the strength. Keep going, breathing in, making sure that stomach stays strong. That's good. Both feet go back down onto the floor. I want your arms to come out wide. Let your knees drop over towards your right hand side and look towards your left. And then come up and over the other side. And then back up and over. And again, up and over. Now, I'm going to get you to roll over onto your sides to stretch out your hip flexors and your quads now. So if you can, grab hold of your foot behind you, fantastic, and just pull that leg. So as I said earlier, back health sort of is so tightly connected to what is going on in other parts of your body. So tight quads, tight hip flexors, tight hamstrings, an actual, just lack of mobility in your pelvis can result in back pain. I'm just going to flip myself around so you don't have to look at my back whilst I stretch out the other side. making sure you do feel a stretch across the front of the hip here as you go. Good, and release. Now, you're going to need to grab your band or your dressing gown cord, whatever you have at home. And this time I want you to kneel upright. If kneeling is too strong for you, then you can do this whole series standing up as well. It is a modification of an exercise we do on the reformer called chest opener, which is basically designed to lengthen the chest, open the chest out, and strengthen the muscles on your back. We tend to live our lives like this, over a computer, looking at our phones, driving, sitting on a sofa. So it is important in our daily exercise or movement routines to get that chest to open out, to alleviate stress and strain and pain in the neck and shoulder area. So kneel upright for me, please. Knees directly underneath your hips. Band is in front. So if I just turn side on, you can see that there is quite a degree of tension in the band. You might struggle if you're just using a dressing gown cord at home for this one. Use weights instead, or just your hands will suffice. So roll your shoulders, slide them down your back, thumbs facing forwards to begin with. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, push back and then release. As I say, if the dressing gown cord thing isn't working for you, just your hands, with or without a set of weights, will do. So as I'm pushing back, I'm making sure that my head isn't jutting forwards. The temptation is to do this. No. You keep your head back. Now turn your hands around so your wrists are facing backwards. This time we're going to incorporate a bit of a head turn. So turn your head to one side, release your hands back to your hips. Other side, release. Keep going. And then turn your hands all the way around so your wrists are now facing forwards, and repeat that, but let's keep our heads forwards this time. Okay, and then release. Now, this next bit, I'd like you to put your hands out to the front. We're going to do something called a knee stretch. We just stretched out those quads, so hopefully this will be okay. So roll your shoulders, make sure your shoulder blades are soft on your back and you've got a nice tension in the band. I'd like you to hinge back until you feel a pull in those quad muscles, and then sit yourself back up again. So your back, squeeze and come back up, making sure that your back stays completely in neutral. And back. Incidentally, if in a day-to-day basis you're feeling a sort of tweak in your lower back as you're just, I don't know, going about your everyday business at home, think about your posture, reset yourself to neutral spine alignment in the pelvis, and squeeze your abdominals. You might find that that is enough to just reset your back and support your spine so you alleviate pain. Now, bring your arms up above your head. This time, you're going to pull down. So you get a bigger stretch and a bigger relief. Whoop. And then back up. And then over the other side. Similar to what we did at the beginning in the warm-up. But this should be going a little bit deeper. And over. Now, as you go over, this time you're going to round forwards. So you go all the way forwards, back, and then up. And then over the other side, and round, all the way round, and back, and up, and over, back, and up. We're going to stick with that uppers back now. Make sure your shoulders are well away from your ears, and pull down. Again, with a dressing gown cord, this is a bit tricky, so just let go of the dressing gown cord, but do the movements with your arms. And down, and down, and back up. This time down, but I want you to push your arms back. That's it. Feeling a good stretch across the front of the chest, and then release. This time go down. If you're doing it without a band, you're like this. So you're opening the arms out. You can do it without, but then I want you to draw your arms all the way back round and then back up. So with a band, you're round and back up. You can try it with your dressing gown cords if you like, your belts. And down and up. This set of muscles, really important to stretch out if you've been just spending a whole day crouched in front of your desk. You can do the same on a door frame. So you put one arm on each side of a door frame. Just let your body fall forwards so you get the stretch out here. Should feel really, really nice. Right, now we're going to stick with the upper body. I'm just going to kneel back down onto my heels. We're going to do a little bit of a neck stretch. So you're going to bring one hand up and over the top of your head. So you grab hold of your opposite ear and let your head drop down to the side. And then look towards your armpit. So you let the stretch sort of radiate or further around. And then release. And then up and over the other side. Hand goes on and over. And then look towards your armpit. Gently does it. And then back. And then release. And then you're going to roll your head all the way around, releasing tension out of the whole of the neck. Sorry, that's my dog barking. It's probably her tea time. Or she's found a fox to bark at. Okie dokie. Now, we're going to lie back down onto the floor. And what I'd like you to do, have the band or your cord relatively close to you. We're just going to do a couple of shoulder bridges before we stretch your legs out. So feet down on the floor, shoulder bridges, single most important exercise to release out a sore back, coming up and then back down again. If there is a point in your back where you feel, oh, that's really not very nice, please don't force it. Never ever force a movement. Just gently move through something. And if you're unsure of anything, all my clients give me a call. And then back again. Just a couple more. And then back down. Now, this time I want you to put your one foot on top of the opposite knee and open that knee out. And we're going to do a couple of shoulder bridges like this. So you're opening out the hips. Opening out the hips will help release the back. So tilt away, tilt towards you and peel those hips up. And then back down again. Tilt, peel up. And then down. Okay, and then let's swap over. So the other foot goes on top, let that knee drop out. Tilt, peel up. And down. And go again, tilt, peel up. And down. And tilt, peel up. Good. And down. Now, you're going to get the band and place it around your right foot first. And we're just going to stretch out your legs. So I want your other leg to slide away from you. And you're going to pull the band towards you. Now, my leg is straight. I'd like your leg to be straight. It's not a challenge to see how far your toes can come up towards your head. It is more about what length you can get down the back of your leg. If your knee is bent stretching like this, it's never going to happen. So if your leg is straight and that's as far as you can get, that's fine. But try to get a straight leg. If you're a dancer, or the dancers amongst you will be able to get your foot all the way up to your nose. No, I'm not there. And that's fine. Now, we're moving further around into the IT band. So breathe in. As you breathe out, just pull that leg towards you a little bit and then let your leg drop over your body. And as you rotate around and then pull it up, it's really tight, okay? Tight for everybody. You should feel that pull. And then let your leg drop out, open the leg all the way out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. So you're now stretching out your inner thigh. That's it. And then start circling that leg all the way around. You're going to go big. So let that leg go large. And then go back around the other way. Okay, and then swap over. So the other foot goes in, and I'm just going to wiggle myself up so I don't hit my leather barrel, and then the other leg. So again, straight leg, get a nice stretch going down the back of the leg. It should feel good. So I don't know about you, but I'm in day 2 of homeschooling. I'm exhausted. Can't wait for the school holidays to start. And then let your leg drop over your body. You're in. Oh, that's tight. Don't worry about that. Don't force it. And we don't bounce into stretches anymore. It's not considered to be necessarily the safest way to do it. Instead, we breathe into stretches. People do sometimes bounce in stretches, but under very, very close guidance of an instructor. So just allowing your muscles to lengthen out as you breathe, to let your muscles lengthen out, so i.e. breathing in. And then as you breathe out, you feel the stretch sort of ease off, and that's the point where you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Doesn't matter what you're stretching out, but that's how we do it. And then let your leg drop out and open out. Again, that leg is coming up towards you as much as possible, so you're getting a good stretch onto the inner thigh this time. It is worth spending time stretching. It's so sorely neglected, but you feel so much better for it afterwards. And then let that leg go all the way around. I'm going to hit my ladder barrel, up and over. Go big, go large. And then back around the other way. Just going to move that out of the way so I can do it much bigger. That's it. Okay, and then release. Now, I want everyone to just come over onto their sides and pop your hands together like this. Now your heels need to be together. I'm going to do a stretch, then we're going to do a quick clam, and then we're pretty much done. But I want you to open out. We've done a bit of rotation, but this is deeper and it's slightly different. And then close back down again. So hands together. Open out as if you're opening a big book. Try and keep your hips on top of each other as you open out. Look towards the hand behind you. And then back. And go again. Up and over. And back. And then we're going to swing around. No, we're not. We're going to stay here. Stay there for a moment. Whilst you're in this position, we might as well do the clam instead of having to jiggle around. So Your heels are going to be directly underneath your bottoms. And I want you to open your knees out and then close them down. So some lower back pain, you just need to strengthen up your glutes a little bit more, get your hips moving, get the glutes firing up. This is a really good exercise for firing up your glutes. You keep the soles of your feet or toes of your feet together as you open your knees out and then close down. Open out and close down. Now, keep those knees together, kick your heels up this time and open your knees out. It's not necessarily the most elegant of exercises, but boy, does it work. If you're feeling strong, you can always use that band to tie it around your knees so you're working against some resistance, but that is strong. Okay, and then put the knees back down. This time we're going to get a little bit of hip rotation. So you lift the knees apart and then you put your toes together. Lift the toes off and you go knee to knee. Up, sole to sole, up, knee to knee, up, sole to sole, up, knee to knee. And then we're going to do the same routine, but the heels kicked up like a little can. So open the knees out before you begin, then take your feet apart and put your knee to knee. Up, sole to sole, up, knee to knee, up, sole to sole, up, knee to knee, up, sole to sole. Let's do one more. And you should have felt those glutes have a good little workout. Give them a bit of a rub with a well done glutes, and then we're going to roll over and do exactly the same on the other side. So a bit of an open rotation before we do anything. So lie yourselves down, heels need to be directly underneath your sit bones, and your hands are in front of you like this, and open out. Now try and get that other shoulder blade down onto the floor, and then close down, and then open out. Stretch out and close down, and up, open out and close down, and last time, up, open out and close down. Okay, rest your head into your elbow and open and close, clam. There we go. Then the heels are going to click up, and 4 here, open. So we're now day 2 of everyone staying at home. It's interesting, to put it politely, but knee to knee, but it's all going to be fine. Toe to sole, up, knee to knee, up, sole to sole. Have to admit, I gain a lot of comfort knowing that everybody is in the same boat now, and we're all doing what we can whilst at home. Now, up, sole to sole. Not sure how many of the jobs I was hoping to do I'm going to achieve. All my time seems to be consumed by my children, all 5 of them. The older teenagers, as well as the younger ones. There we go, and release down. Give that a bit of a rub. Now you're going to lie onto your backs, and we're just going to stretch out your piriformis again. I know we've done it already once, but as I say, it's a really important muscle to stretch out. You're going to put one foot on top of the opposite knee and just pull it in towards you. Some people really don't enjoy doing this lying down. You can do it standing up, so I'm just going to demonstrate a standing up one. You stay there. Standing up would involve, whilst holding on to something, doing this. If that is too strong, you cross your feet over and you push your bottom back and see if you can get a stretch. I'll get more into the hamstrings, but you might get a little bit of the piriformis as well. So now swap over feet. Right foot goes on top and pull in. Good work. Feet go down, and then just reach and stretch as much as you possibly can Whilst you're reaching and stretching, imagining that you're on a medieval rack. I'm just going to give you a quick reminder. Okay, now move to one side, so you almost turn like a little bit of a banana, and then over to the other side. Posture, how you're sitting, how you're moving. The more you can do from a self-correction point of view on a day-to-day basis, the more you will be helping your back. So I would encourage you to do that. A lot of people I see tend to be like this. I have clients who've grown 1.5 centimeters, quite simply because they have got used to, and their muscles are used to holding themselves upright. Lower back people, be careful how you're lifting. I say lower back people, those who have lower back pain. Be careful how you're lifting. Just be mindful that you're always standing in neutral. But anyway, enough of that. I'm afraid now, those of you who don't have a foam roller, this is the last bit of the class. You won't be able to do it, but if you just stay and watch, then you might learn. Then when you do get your foam rollers, you can do it at home. So you lie down, and the foam roller is about on your sort of bra width. All of my foam rollers are smooth. I don't use the ones that look like tire grids. They're quite strong. They're quite, for our purposes, but they're not required. So smooth foam rollers. Support the full weight of your head in your hands. Your head, incidentally, weighs rather a lot. So make sure, and the more you drop your chin to your chest, the more strain you put into your sort of top of your back, stroke bottom of your neck. So please make sure you don't look at your phone like that the whole time. Now, supporting the full weight of your head, you're just going to start rolling your back forwards and backwards. Be careful. If anyone does have any scar tissue in their back, so if they've had any breast surgery, for example, because in a minute we're going to go into the shoulder joint and there's scar tissue sort of underneath here, you mustn't do that. You just continue with doing just the back, please, and roll. Now, what I'm feeling is rather a lot of tight knots around about here, so I'm just going to hang out here and just roll them out and see if I can ease them out ever so gently. Incidentally, if you do have lower back pain, your upper back muscles will be working extra hard. So those upper back muscles need a bit of TLC. We can't go to our massage therapists at the moment, so do it at home with a foam roller until we all get back to normal. And then you're going to go over more into the armpit. There's a bundle of nerves in there, can get really tight, but the release can be really, really effective if you can get to it. Some crunching going on in my right shoulder, and then over to the other side. So getting deep into that shoulder if you possibly can. Okay, and then stop. Go down. Now, get your towel, get your ball, and this last bit is all about relaxing. So get your jumpers back on again. Tell the children to be quiet for 60 seconds at least, please. Heads on ball, hands down by your sides, and just breathe very, very deeply. I want you to just try and switch off all of your muscles now. So breathe in, then as you breathe out, imagine your body is just sinking into some soft clay. Breathe in and out. And then ever so gently you can start turning your head from side to side, taking 60 seconds out of your day just to try and switch off. We all deserve that. Find that time to switch off. 60 seconds isn't a lot of time. Try and find more time if you can, and then hold it. And then when you're ready, I want you to hug your knees in towards your chest. Pull your knees in and bring your head up to meet your knees. Rounding your back. Now just roll from side to side gently. That's it. Now, feet go down, roll over onto your side, and then come back up to sitting gently. Want to get one more teeny tiny stretch in if we possibly can. So sit up tall, feet are wide, mat width, toes up towards you, hands out to the front, breathe in, and then as you breathe out, gently lean over so that you can put your hands on the insides of your feet or the backs of your ankles. And you're going to pull gently with your hands, tuck your tailbone under until you get a stretch going into your lower back. Be careful when you do this, please, particularly if you've got a sort of underlying muscle tension. Breathe in and out, in and out. Breathe in and then just see if you can sink a little bit further into the stretch. So tuck your tailbone under a little bit more, pull with the hands, push with the feet. And release. And that's it. We are done. Get yourself back up to standing safely. You know how to do that. Just to roll over onto your sides, come back up to standing. I will be doing some more recordings for all you lovely clients. So keep checking in. If there's anything you do want, ping me a message, let me know, and I'll put something together and put it online for you. Take care. See you soon. Bye.